Blessings, 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 beautiful people. It's your girl, Dr. Lori, Still Whole Wellness. Wanted to come live tonight. I'm going to be going live with Miss Jen, my sister from another Mista, from Sacred Wealth Co. So just waiting for her to join the live here. As I wait for her, those of you who have not joined the Reset Challenge, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you are really, really missing out. Really missing out. Some juicy content is being dropped there. Some really great videos. So pretty much what I've done with that, just as we wait for Jen to join, pretty much what I've done there is kind of give you like a micro version of the Alchemist program. Is pretty much what it is. So going through all the 5 modules of the Alchemist program: mind, body, spirit, wealth, relationship, and just kind of giving you some micro dosing for some changes, some small shifts that you can make before 2026 gets here. I'm going to tell you this. You guys, I've shared this here before. You guys all know that I was raised by a Baptist pastor, so I'm a PK. And one of the things that could really get you in trouble with my dad is come January 1st, if your goals were not written down and submitted to him. I never wanted to really talk about my goals because I knew he wasn't really going to be with them. So so I would just take mine and write them down and slide them under his bedroom door. But that was a requirement for me all growing up, and it's probably got a whole heck of a lot to do with why I'm a coach right now to this day. Jen is texting, asking in my live. I feel like if I try to text her back, it's probably gonna take me off the live. Hopefully she'll figure it out. If not, we'll just be talking about the challenge. But yeah, it's probably got a whole heck of a lot to do with, with why I'm a life coach right now today and went into mental health, is because that's the kind of guy that I grew up with. That's who raised me, making that a requirement, every single year. And so this challenge is really all about not necessarily setting goals so much, but absolutely giving you framework to be able, to me, that's like next level, because how many of us, actually set goals, at the end of the year, and then by February, we haven't reached not near goal, oh, there she is. Blessings, sis. What's up? All right, she's coming in. I think you got to like press the join or something. I don't know. I think I did it right on my side. So yeah, so, this to me is like next level, beyond setting an actual goal. This is actually giving you that breakdown of all of the steps and things that you need in order to be able to reach that goal. All right, sis. I'm pressing the button, I promise. Okay, there we go. Okay, it says it's adding you. You guys, this is not funny, but it's hilarious.
Hi,
Sis,
made it.
I don't like this. I don't like this not one bit. Instagram, we were supposed to be going live on Instagram, you guys, and my old ass couldn't figure out how to get how to get us live on Instagram. So we spent like 8 minutes on the phone, like trying to figure it out. But it looks like Instagram has done some kind of shifting and changing where you got to have a number of followers and all of this and of that. So I just said, forget it. We'll come live on Facebook. Facebook has always been my friend from the beginning anyway. So, but welcome, sis. How are you today?
Welcome. Gotta love technology.
Yeah, I have decided that in 2026 I'm going to stop saying, things like, I'm technology is not my friend. Otherwise, it'll never be my friend. So, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm gonna learn this stuff, and you know what? I'm gonna declare and decree, as the church folks would say, and I am not going to ask my daughter for assistance because if I ask her for help, all she's gonna do is laugh at me anyway. So, she asked me the other
I'm
day.
laughing with you.
Right, right. She asked me the other day. She's such a little booger. She asked me the other day. She's like, Mom, do you know how to take a picture with your phone? I was like, okay, now you're being funny. You really being funny now. But what's good, sis? How was your day?
I feel accomplished.
Right, right, right. Because we figured out two life
Yeah,
coaches.
we
How many
figured it
life
out.
coaches does
We
it
we,
take
we
to go
don't
live?
panic, we pivot,
We pivot. Exactly. This is
you
this is
know,
what we've learned. This is what we've learned. Yes,
or just
absolutely.
flow with it. That's been my motto. Just flow
Lean
with
in.
it. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Just
Scream,
lean
yell,
in.
cry if you need to.
We've had our days. We have had our days of doing all of the above. So tonight, sis, for those of you who saw the live from last week, we've been trying to get back into flow of going live every week, and
Mhm.
we're 2 for 2, right? So for those of you who saw the live last week, we kind of started the conversation about becoming, and
Mhm.
so sis, in text, we had like a little disagreement, a little
We
little
sure did.
debate, a little a little debate of whether or not because I said, let's talk about preparing for the becoming, and you were like, mm-mm, you can't prepare, and I could just see your
You
neck
know what? It
moving
was
in the
not like
text.
that
She was
though.
like, there is no preparing.
Okay, see, I didn't do all the neck rolling.
You didn't do the neck roller. All right, all right, all right. So
But
yeah,
I
so we
go,
had like a little
yeah.
debate about it. I think we have some different perspectives, but I was like, let's do it anyway. Let's talk about it anyway, because I'm sure if we have, varying opinions, I'm sure that the collective will as well. And, it's like I always say, I trust it'll be a blessing to whoever is watching. So you're my guest tonight. So I'll let you go first and share your opinion. Do you believe that it is possible to prepare for the becoming? First, if you could just kind of give your interpretation of what becoming really means to you. I guess we can maybe start there.
Yeah, I that would, you know what, that's a great question because what is becoming? And I feel like it's a continual process for each day, We shift,
Okay.
we change with the change of the moon,
Yeah.
and happy full moon,
Yeah.
the time
Happy full
of
moon. It's
releasing,
beautiful tonight
right?
too. I don't know if you've seen it. It's gorgeous.
Oh, I haven't, but it seems really dark out right now, so I'm sure I'll see the moon bright. I don't know if it rose up already, but becoming is is a journey. It's
Yeah.
it's not a race. It's a marathon, right? And I don't
Agreed.
even want to say marathon because that seems like you're still running and you're fighting for something, but
Mm,
it's definitely a journey where it's a roller coaster. There's the ups and the downs.
yeah.
And I say there's no preparing because sometimes things just hit you and you don't even know if it's coming from left to right. However, there is ways to prepare. I was like thinking,
Are
yeah,
you
I
are you
think
agreeing with me, sis?
I'm going to be contradicting myself because there are things that you can do, right?
Okay.
Like learning how to self-regulate, right?
Yes.
And go into breath work. For me, breath work, journaling has been my saving grace, and always have at least three things to be grateful for. And I wake up each morning with at least a minimum of three things I'm grateful for, whether it's just waking up, I have a roof over my head, food to eat, my kids are healthy. No matter how little, I am grateful for something to
Yeah, and
start my
sometimes
day.
it is those little things, and I personally believe that it is in the gratitude of those small things that actually lead to those bigger things. So I'm in agreement with you there. So all right, so being
I'm in
grateful.
agreement with you. I contradicted myself. There are things that will prepare you. However, there are things that just there's no
They
amount
just
of
happen.
preparing you can.
Yeah,
do that just happens, and it's just like this punch in the gut that you don't expect, and you just fall to the ground or something, and it feels like that and everything is falling apart. However, you could do like those simple things that I said, breath work, allowing the breath, because that is such pure medicine. It's, if we
So, sis,
honor.
break that down for people, because I there's a lot of people that
Yeah.
are a part of the page and the community, that they hear us say this, but they really don't understand what that is. And I know that that's your street, that's your lane. So break that down for everybody of what really breath work
But
really
breath
is.
work, it's really, it's, we spend a lot of time up here,
Mm-hmm.
if
Mm-hmm.
you're able to, like, and it's like taking a moment, just take a moment and sit and just start breathing. Breathe through your nose and
Intentional.
take in as much air as you need and release. Don't even worry about the counting. Start getting things complicated, the 4 count box, just breathe and
Yeah.
think about that breath and that honor, and you're breathing in and you're breathing out. And as you're breathing, you start thinking about what you want to breathe in and what
Mm-hmm.
you want to release,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you just honor that breath. You honor what that breath is. So it's really
That's
thinking, what
wrong.
is
Yeah.
breath, right?
Yeah.
It's life. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
life force. It's
Yeah.
why we're here. If we're not
Mm-hmm.
breathing, we're not in our bodies anymore.
Yeah.
Our bodies are done, right?
Yeah.
And we're,
Something has shifted.
yep,
For
we
sure.
we
For sure.
we we transitioned, right?
Yeah.
And so that's breath work. It's honoring the breath for what it truly is. It's why we're here at this moment.
Facts.
And
You,
it's, yeah.
I
Mhm.
was, I'm sorry. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, one of the things that like really brought me into understanding breath work, was I read an article, and forgive me because, and I'm so horrible with this. I always am like reading and taking in stuff, and I read so much stuff I can never remember like where I read it. But I read an article, and this was a few years ago, several years ago, and it was talking about SA survivors, and it was saying that when they did a study on the respiration of SA survivors, and it was literally saying that survivors actually don't take a full cycle of breath,
Mm.
because the central nervous system is like so, hyper vigilant, or is just not calibrated correctly. We're so used to being in like that fight or flight, phase, that we really don't even take in a full cycle of breath. And I read that, and it stuck with me ever since. And so
Mm.
hearing you talk about breath work, like it brings me back to reading that article. And that was one of the main things of how I transitioned into bringing breath work not only into my own day-to-day life. In fact, was just doing some breath work just about an hour or so ago. But into making my clients aware of it as well, and just how transformative it really is in order to be able to stabilize that central nervous system during those moments where we're triggered. You
Oh,
know.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And I'm not even a guru at it, but I do know the power of it. I do have a dear sister too who does breath work and yoga
Hmm.
and all that. And they even go into the cold water and
Yeah.
do the breath work, and I'm like, why would you do that? Yeah, but like there there's a whole cold water plunge, there was that,
Yeah. And like
that
shocking the system, and
yeah,
yeah,
but
and then
there's so much
regulating the
medicine to
breath
that.
in
Yeah.
that. And yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and how we can, our body is so amazing. It's because we allow everything to consume us versus take back our power and be like, no, I am more powerful than it. So I'm going to
Yes.
breathe into this and become one with it.
Yeah.
You know?
So are you saying that,
So
if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that utilizing things like gratitude and breath work can then actually prepare you for this becoming? I just want to make sure that I'm hearing you right, sis.
yes.
Because I mean, on the text you had said.
I know. Yeah, there's no preparing for, you know, there are some things there's just no preparing, but there are tools to help you get through things.
Boom. Okay. 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 I'm with you there. I'm with you there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel you when you say like there's no preparation for the becoming. And I do understand that perspective. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Because I agree with you. There are times in life where, man, things can just kind of come out of nowhere and just kind of
Mhm.
hit you upside the head. But here's I guess my take on it. Well, first, are you finished with sharing yours? Because I want to make sure I give you full
Yeah,
royalty.
yeah, and you know what really popped up too was betrayal. How can you get prepared for
Ooh,
betrayal? You know.
ooh,
So, but anyways,
okay.
continue on. But we can go back and
Wait,
revisit
betrayal of what? Like betrayal
betrayal
of?
of just. I mean, the word betrayal as itself, we
Mm-hmm,
know what betrayal is,
mm-hmm.
and that can feel like death. But
Yeah.
then not just death, but also a fury of rage and hate and anger that
Mm-hmm,
can come up,
mm-hmm.
and what can prepare you for that? There's tools to help you, but if you
Yeah.
don't have the tools, it seems to, it, I think at first it shocks you,
Yeah.
and it's like there's like this helplessness, but there are tools to help, like gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
journaling, remembering your breath, because as long as you're breathing, there's something you can do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I fully agree with you. I have this saying that I've been saying for quite some time now. And some that are close to me are probably tired of hearing me say it. But it's that I'm gonna always be human first.
Mm,
I think I really believe that that's just the way that we're wired. I'm gonna always be human first. However, because of the tools, right? Like what you're speaking to, I'm able to transition from being, I'll just say, acting out as a human, and be able to transition into that spiritual mindset where
mm,
then I'm able to then utilize those tools to really balance and recalibrate the human side.
mhm,
And it is very much the gratitude, it's very much the breath work, it's very much the journaling. I say that to clients all the time. My clients, some of them love me but they hate me because you gonna have a journaling assignment, like, more often than not. But I just think it's one of the most underused tools that we have at our immediate disposal, that journaling. But I think that with incorporating those things, and doing those things with some level of consistency, that is what can then help you to then be prepared for the becoming, for whatever it is that the divine is trying to do in your life, whatever that trajectory is. If you have some, and I hate to use this word, but I'll use it just because I think people will understand it. If you have some ritual, right? If you have some practices, if you have some tools in your toolbox, then you're able to transition from that human side, that human natural response, into that spiritual mindset that will then help to balance you back into that human side and be able to help you to continue on that road of whatever that becoming just so happens to be. um and I feel like if I can kind of add to your list, right? I also believe that having things like grounding, and which is something that I very much believe in and practice on a regular basis, especially on nights like tonight with this beautiful full moon, right? Having things like grounding, having you know people that you can kind of lean on, that can kind of hold you accountable. I am so blessed that I have great community around me. I have really wonderful, some good, solid, spiritually minded and sound sisters around me. And not to mention my lovely partner who is amazing to help me to get back to that spiritual mindset and help to remind me of my tools. You all have become like almost like my spiritual accountability partners, if you will, to kind of help me with reminding me of my tools, number one, to help me to get back center, and then to remind me of where it is that I'm going. Because how many times, like, are we trying to set out to do something and life will just, as you said, will just kind of come at you from all over the place, and it'll kind of take you off that course a little bit. And then, it does help to have people around you that really truly celebrate you. These are not your yes people. These are not the people who are secretly jealous of your becoming, your blow up, your glow up, but the people that are going to actually be there and remind me, hey Lori, remember you said, you had said, right, that this is the direction that you wanted to go. So like for instance, I had a good sister of mine remind me recently. I had made this declaration actually about this time last year, where I said, I really, really want to work on getting angry. I know that I'm a human being and I know that life happens. I know that things are going to transpire, but I really want to work on being able to manage that a little bit better and like not really manage it because that even sounds like work, but lean into peace. Right, leaning into peace. And so I had a beautiful sister remind me of that recently, where I was bugging out, because people think because we're coaches and spiritual people, and help other people with this journey that life doesn't happen to us. Couldn't be further from the truth. And so I was upset by something, and she prompted me. She's like, no, dog, remember, you said that this year you wanted to really work on leaning into peace. And I was so grateful of that reminder, and that's one of the things. It's like, life will happen and kind of throw you off course. But when you remember or have other people to remind you of who it is that you're becoming, it can get you back on track pretty quickly. Yeah. Oh, I think I lost your sound.
You sure did.
There we go. Boom.
Wake up magic. Yeah, to also add to that, because, you said you want to lean in and you want more peace, but also part of that is honoring how you're feeling. You know,
Facts.
so many, I was guilty, I'll speak for myself, guilty for suppressing, my
Hmm.
feelings because I
Hmm.
thought that was what it meant to be strong. And
Mm.
it was
Or
for a
or
season.
spiritual.
Yeah.
Some people think that that's what
Yeah.
it means to be spiritual. Yeah.
Or spirit, right. And probably for a season of my life, or seasons, because it helped protect me. However, there's going to come a point where part of living is feeling. That's what
Yeah.
makes us alive,
Yeah.
and to honor those heavy feelings, honor the anger, honor the rage, honor the
Hmm.
fury. Don't hurt nobody. Lord knows there's been times I wanted to, but
Yeah.
that angers for a moment, and in a brief
Hmm.
moment that can do a whole lot of damage.
Yeah.
And understanding that in preparation to becoming, because part of becoming is healing these old wounds that probably was suppressed for years.
Hmm.
It could be ancestral,
Hmm.
generational, so what do you do about that? And part of it is just when you're able to feel it, it's ready to be released.
Yeah.
And what better time as today is to release all those feelings or whatever it is that's coming up for you, that it's probably time to let it go.
Tiny
What
time
are
left.
you holding on to it for, right? And
Yeah.
these are the things, that helps you prepare. There we go, right? Is
Yeah.
understanding that, okay, you know what, I'm probably upset because of this. It's being able to talk to yourself, regulate yourself,
Hmm.
you know so when those times that shit hits the fan, you got these tools, to go back to. And I love the word rituals versus routine, because routine sounds good,
Right.
but
Yeah, but I know
rituals.
some people, they hear that, they get all weirded
Oh,
out.
it's
No.
woo woo.
Yeah.
But you know
Yeah.
what? There's a magicalness to it when you
It
say
is.
rituals,
It is.
because I
Yeah.
think of rich.
Yeah.
I am bringing richness into my body, into my being. I'm walking with intention.
Yeah.
So we're moving with these rituals to help us maintain our sanity versus just blow up and go like crap crazy.
Yeah, yeah, facts, facts. Yeah, I really believe that with that becoming and kind of to your point is really about that understanding of self, like taking that time to really be self-reflective and have that personal accountability of okay, I know I did XYZ, and really, this really, to me, this takes like next level spiritual maturity, to be able to
Mhm.
be honest with yourself about yourself, and be able to then self correct, do that course correction. So I personally believe that everything that you stated is a part of that preparation. And I
Mhm.
very much believe that having those moments to where you can sit in that silence to just understand who you are right here, right now. That
Mhm.
to me is one of the best things that we can do in order to prepare for the becoming, is to understand where you are right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I've been so before you jumped on, I was kind of chit-chatting with folks about the challenge that I'm running right now with the Alchemist program. And the question that we've been asking ourselves every day is, who do you think you are?
Who do you think you are?
Right? Who do you think you are? And asking that question in different contexts and different facets, when it comes to your mental health, who do you think you are? When it comes to your spiritual life, who do you think you are? When it comes to your this antenna, this physical body, this antenna that is the
Mhm.
great separator between us, our human self and our spiritual self, who do you think you are? When it comes to your wealth, who do you think you are? When it comes to your relationship, who do you think you are? And asking that question for 5 days and answering it from different perspectives. And the idea is to help you to discover, like, who do you think you are? Because I mean, we hear that sentence, and you know, for me, if somebody asks me, who do you think you are, I'm feeling like, they're trying to be shady and funny, you know.
Mhm.
But I was like, no, we're gonna flip this thing, and we're gonna ask ourselves genuinely, like, who do we think we are? And that helps to then, I believe, to discover just that, who do we think we are, and helps us to kind of, better define and get some clarity on this journey of becoming. So let me ask you, sis, okay,
Yeah.
who are you becoming?
Who am I becoming? The queen who I am.
I know
Meant.
that's right. I know that's right. Boom.
Mhm.
Boom. Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm a daughter of the highest of high.
Yes.
We
Yes.
all are. And
Absolutely.
therefore, we should rise to it. And so many of us been pushed down, beat up, but you know what? Continue to rise.
Yeah.
Continue to prove all those who are feeling low about themselves. Stay there. You just continue to rise. And I think that's also part of the becoming too, is there are going to be people who are going to slip away because they won't
Talk
be able
about
to
it.
handle
Talk
your
about
frequency,
it. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It gets smaller as you rise up because you're at a higher frequency, a higher frequency, higher frequency, and people are just maintaining, you
And wouldn't
know.
you say that that's maybe one of the signs, one of the main indicators that you genuinely are becoming, is that that crowd tends to kind of get a little thinner, a little thinner. That circle comes a little tighter, a little, closer in. I
Mhm.
truly, truly believe that that is one of the major, major indicators that whatever it is that you are endeavoring to become, that you're very much well on your way. If I were to add a second thing to that, I would say that your spiritual life gets a little deeper, because it would have to.
It would
When you
have
really
to.
think about it, it would have to, in order for whatever that trajectory is, whatever it is that you're aiming towards. um First of all, we got to recognize that, time is simply a construct. So wherever it is that you are trying to get to, you already are that somewhere, right,
Hmm.
in the universe, right? Um, but whatever it is that you're trying to get to, you would have to become a little closer to spirit. You would have to become a little more um, understanding of who you are, right? And really tapping in, tuning in, and turning on to everything that's going on in here in order to even get there. I think that that's a huge indication that, like, yeah, you're in the right place, right time, you're doing the right thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
and also to add to that too is in the process, it may seem like everyone is falling away,
Hmm.
that everyone's falling away. However, what happens is there becomes like you're rising, you're rising, you're rising, your frequency is getting continually elevating, right?
Hmm.
And you feel like all these people are dropping away, but then you keep rising and people are going to start meeting you there, you know?
That's
And that's where you have these deep, profound connections with this profound group of amazing people that can meet you where you are and
yeah,
hold space for you because everyone else wasn't able to. They wanted to hold you down like
because
crabs
their
in a
energy is
bucket.
dense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and yeah, they just don't know any better, you know,
Hmm.
and you may want to pull them up with you, but sometimes, you know, you just got to continue your journey and let them meet you when they're ready.
Yeah,
And
not everybody can go where you're going, and I'm grateful for the knowing of that. I truly, truly am, because as I do see people falling away, of course, again, I say I'm going to always be human first, right?
mhm,
But as I see that happening, yeah, I'm going to have that human response to it first, and then that light bulb goes on, and I'm like, oh, they're not meant to go where I'm going. And it's
yeah,
not like a conceited, arrogant kind
mm-mm,
of a thing. It's just literally an awareness where it's like, okay, when I really look and take a full account of this human being, their frequency is very dense, is very low, right? And they're not in a position yet, because they
yeah,
can get we can all get there if we so choose. They're not yet ready to be able to ride this part of the journey with me.
yeah,
And I end up being okay. I find that the older that I become, I'm and I don't do this often, but when I find it necessary, I do it. I'm not really like a blocker kind of a person. You got those people that as soon as you make them mad, they block you. I'm not really a blocker kind of a person, but I am finding that as I am becoming, that I'm a little more okay with being like, all right, boop.
yeah,
Play with Jesus, don't play with me. Go play with your mama, don't play with me.
mhm,
And just not allowing people, not everybody needs to have access, I think is what I'm understanding about life right now. Not everybody needs to have access. No one,
mhm,
not everyone is deserving of
mhm.
of access, and really letting that for real be okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, what we're talking about was something I just recently went through for the past year of all these people just slipping through my hand, and it was painful.
Hmm.
It
Oh,
hurt.
it's definitely
You
painful for
know,
sure.
it was like, I went through what's wrong with me? What did I do? Why,
Hmm.
what happened? Why did this person block me? Why did that person block me? Why did that person ghost me? Why
Hmm.
are they treating me this way? And it's like, because it's all part of the becoming. And that's why I go, there's no preparing for that, right? Because
Hmm.
it hurts like hell. But then
Yeah.
it's also knowing how to regulate myself. And sometimes I fell apart. It was, some days were good, some days were just awful, and I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah. Give
baby, like
that ugly
what's wrong?
cry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and when it's all said and done, I still rise.
Boom.
I still show up.
Yeah.
I ended up learning how to be my own best friend. And then I realized who were truly there for me and who I call sisters,
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I don't give that title these days, very flippantly. If and I'm gonna tell on myself right now. So if you're watching this and this is your title, now you know why. Um, and it sounds trivial, but it helps in my Lori brain kind of distinguish things. There are some people that I will call sister. I'll refer to them as my sister. And then there are some that I will refer to as sissy. For me, sissy is like a little bit more like it's like there's a level of understanding. There is um a meeting of the minds, kind of thing. Like we're vibrating at the same space. And yeah, I've just kind of learned over the years to not give that title to everybody. And it maybe even childish, but in my mind, it helps me to kind of distinguish like this is my inner circle. This person is my inner circle person, if that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense.
So sis, I think that we kind of agree is what I think this conversation is
Yeah,
giving.
we
It's
agree.
giving
We agree.
agreements. It's giving alignments.
We're in alignment, yeah.
Right? I think we just maybe had a different start maybe to the
Yeah.
conversation, but I think we actually agree on this, that there are no doubt, there are definitely some tools that we can incorporate into our lives in terms of helping us with that becoming. And so I feel like this is a good spot to end. I'm a foodie, so every time we go live, I'm always like trying to end it so I can go eat something. So I have some amazing crab cakes over here, that I think last week it
Did you
was
see my face? I went, I want some.
girl. And they're just like some little store bought joints. But they're Gordon Ramsay. So I saw Gordon Ramsay's face on it, and I was like, oh, I gotta try it. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to go grub down on that. But this is, as always, it's always just a really great, beautiful conversation with you. So we're gonna close it out right here. We trust that this is a blessing to the collective. Jen, go ahead and shout out your page and how people can find you and so they can get connected with you.
Yeah, here. So I just created a new page. Actually, I have two pages. So there's Sacred Her, and
Boom.
now there's Sacred Wealth Co. And so both two different things, but both it comes down to honoring our sacredness. So
Absolutely. And is it the same on both Facebook as well as IG? And are you on TikTok as well?
I am on TikTok, but that is a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just having a conversation about that just tonight. So I'm gonna do my best to actually take this video and actually upload it to TikTok. We call it TikTok. I'm gonna try to upload it to TikTok, and hopefully just wish me well with that. I'm gonna figure it out though. I'm determined to figure it
We
out.
got this. We got
We got
this.
we got this. We got
Yeah.
this. We got this. We
Yeah.
got this.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, as always, sis, thank you so much. Just appreciate you. I appreciate your wisdom, your insight. Always really great conversations. So next week, next Thursday, we'll be live on your page. So if you guys are listening to this, you enjoyed this conversation. This is what we do on screen. This is what we do over the phone, on text message. So if you enjoyed this conversation, I do invite you to follow both pages, and so you can get all of the juice. All right. I love you all on purpose. There's nothing you can do about it. You guys be well and in perfect peace. Until the next live, peace and blessings. Thank you, Sissy. Peace. Well, Philly.
I don't know how to get off this thing.